The war on drugs, while touted as the formidable solution to the country's drug menace, had resulted in the systematic violations Honorable Speaker and distinguished colleagues in Congress, at lahat po ng ating mga kababayan na nakikinig dito at sa ating website ngayong hapon na ito. Gusto ko lang pong sabihin unang-una, Mr. Speaker, the time of reckoning has come. Nakalagay po sa Matthew chapter 7 and verse number 2. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. Kung iniisip po natin na magagawa mo ang gusto mong gawin, na hindi mo sinusunod ang saligang batas, dahil nasa kapangyarihan ka, nais kong sabihin, Mr. Speaker, na matatapos din ang mga bagay na yan at ikaw ay hatulan ng taong bayan. Ito pong House of Representatives ay ang bahay po ng taong bayan. Sapagkat tayong lahat ay inelect ng taong bayan upang tayo ay magbusisi ng lahat ng katiwalaang nangyayari sa ating pamahalaan. I consider this a divine blessing to be able to rise today as the chair of the House Committee on Human Rights and co-chair of the Quad Committee to share the initial findings and recommendations of our inquiry, particularly into the extrajudicial killings that occurred during the previous administration's war on drugs. Inuulit ko po, Mr. Speaker, kakampi ako ng dating administrasyon kapag pinag-uusapan po ang pag-alis ng droga sa ating bansa. Sinabi ko po ito sa ating dating Pangulo, ang hindi ko lang maintindihan kung bakit kinakailangan merong mapatay na more than 30,000 people upang mawala ang drugs na ito. Nawala ba ang drugs? Hindi. Nandun pa rin, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, there is a season for everything and a time for every purpose under the heaven, as made clear by the Lord in chapter 3 of the book of Ecclesiastes. This is the most opportune time for the Joint Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Public Accounts, and the Committee on Human Rights to present to you a progress report on our inquiry in aid of legislation. After 13 rigorous and thorough hearings of the so-called Quad Committee, we are confident that we have gathered substantial findings backed by competent evidence to make the requisite recommendations to this legislative body and to the appropriate government agencies for appropriate and decisive action. There was systematic violation of human rights and blatant disregard of due process. The deep probe into the extrajudicial killings, or AGKs, that occurred during the administration of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's war on drugs yielded a far deeper tragedy into the lives of the Filipino people rather than the protection and preservation thereof that it was heralded to accomplish. The numbers, Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, speak the scary truth. According to data from the Philippine National Police from July 1, 2016 to June 30 of 2022, 7,640 individuals were killed in official police operations. Of these documented deaths, 7,173 were drug pushers, 440 were drug users that should have been rehabilitated, not killed, and only 21 were drug lords. Mr. Speaker, from as far back as May 15, 2024, when my committee started digging into the EJ case, we had been presented with multiple reports indicating that there had been massive nationwide drug-related killings within the period July 2016 to June 2022. The killings were classified either as police operations or perpetrated by unknown perpetrators, which is no different from the Sinaloa type of killings in Latin America, which were notorious at the time, the drug cartel in Latin America. The 2017 year-end accomplishment report of the Duterte administration highlighted as key accomplishments, my dear Speaker, the deaths of 3,967 drug personalities and 16,355 homicide cases under investigation as of 30 September 2017. The PNP reported that there was a total of 7,640 illegal drug suspects who died in police operations, 2,053 of which were recorded in the first 6 months of the Duterte presidency from July to December 2016. No less than the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights noted that there were at least 8,663 drug-related killings as of February of 2019, while academic research, the HUS Project of the Third World Studies, University of the Philippines, gathered around 5,348 recorded deaths. The Free Legal Assistance Group cited unassailable data in a Supreme Court en banc extended resolution that indicated that the Duterte administration's anti-drug war from July 1, 2016 to November 27, 2017 recorded a staggering total of 20,322 deaths, or a daily average of 39.46 deaths. Mr. Speaker, and my dear colleagues, was the war on drugs truly aimed at dismantling the drug syndicates and put an end to this illegal and immoral trade? Or was it an all-out assault on the poor and vulnerable to cover up the former? Gusto ba talaga nitong durugin ang mga drug lords at ang illegal drug industry? O durugin lamang ang mga mahihirap upang pagtakpan ang mga may kinalaman o kaugnayan sa problemang ito? Clearly, the war on drugs, while touted as the formidable solution to the country's drug menace, had resulted in the systematic violations of our constitutional rights to life, human dignity, and due process. Ang sagradong buhay na tanging bigay ng poong may kapal ay hindi kailanman dapat pawiin ng sinuman. Ang sabi po ng Diyos, "Thou shalt not kill." But the war on drugs resonated a policy of kill, kill, kill. As the former president has always said, shoot them dead. The role of leadership in a culture of impunity. How did we get here? Paano ito nangyari? One cannot look at all the evidence and not come to this credible and undeniable conclusion that former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's public pronouncements encouraged, facilitated, and normalized the killings and emboldened some of our policemen who are supposed to be the protectors of the people to carry out the same. His release of unverified narco lists further exacerbated the violence as individuals were targeted based on flawed, inconsistent, and malicious information. Isa sa mga biktima nito, si former Iloilo City Mayor Jed Patrick Mabilog. In 2014, then Major Mabilog was named as I quote, top 5 best and outstanding mayors in the world. In the 2014 World Mayor Awards, mula sa short list ng best mayors in the world na isama sa drug list ni Pangulong Duterte, nasira ang pangalan ni Mayor Mabilog. He was forced to relocate himself and his family to a foreign land, and he was threatened with death, all because of unverified, unreliable list. We discovered, Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, that the previous administration's war on drugs was fueled by a perverse reward system that incentivized extrajudicial killings under what we now know as the Davao model. Ano ang Davao model? Under this system, police officers were given monetary rewards for killing drug suspects, transforming the duty of law enforcement from a system driven by justice into a system driven by bounties. Testimonies from Police Lieutenant Colonel Jovi Espinido, Police Colonel Ruyima Garma, and other officials confirm the existence of this system. Malinaw ang testimonya nila. Salapi ng sagradong buhay, Mr. Speaker.